Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS Crit Series North American Edition East, presented by CycleOps. Today we are live out on the London Classic course, and riders are getting ready for 5 laps. 20 miles, 33 kilometers for the race today. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what is going on with the KISS Crit series, this is a series in which 10 individuals from North America, 5 from East, 5 from West, in both the male and the female competitions, will be given giveaways to, earned spots to the live final at a to be determined time and place that they will be competing for a eCrit championship at that live final. So these are racers that are actually competing for this prize at the end of the series. And we actually have some leaderboards here from the North American East, actually. Justin Pierre currently leading things out of Canada right now, followed up closely by Adam Zimmerman, Casey Shum. Casey Shum recently unseated from the series lead, and we'll actually be able to see in-game the series leader's jersey actually on Justin. And within the women's race for the East, we recently had a change up in the leaderboards as well, with Laura Fideo taking over the top spot, followed up by Katrina Weiss, then Kim Beezer, Ellen Tarquino, and Caitlin Patterson. Some late startups that are going to be, you've been watching out for them, as they definitely are looking to get their best of 7 in. It is going to be 10 races, but your best of 7 count toward the final. In the West, then, Scotty Weiss has been dominating the series so far, followed up by Greg Leo. I believe Scotty has been undefeated. Top 5 then rounded out by Jonathan Giron. Then it will be Scott Cunningham and Brandon Meldentalo out there for the KRT team. Within the West for the women, Jennifer Reel also dominating, but Dawn Victor has had a couple of results, some wins out there as well. Katie Levy, as well as Christine Culver and Catherine Salvatierra out there as well. So that is the current situation for the men's and the women's leaderboards. We're about to jump out on course here. Rasan Bahadi's jumping in with me for some co-commentary, and the race is about to take off from the start line. Going to be some exciting crit racing, Rasan.
If I remember from the last time, it was on and popping from the start. So, yeah, it's going to be a good race.
Yeah, super fast right from the get-go. Always is in the Zwift races, and it's all usually about the sprint in these races. But lately, like earlier today in the European edition, it was nonstop out of almost every single corner. So I'd be watching out maybe for some of the racers to just keep on attacking left and right, because the chances are so much better or the win when you do whittle things down. There's always the fast and the furious start from the get-go in these races, and I have a feeling they're going to want to be breaking it down to at least 20 to 30 riders right away and not get any extra baggage in this race. I believe Pierre Ficati is out here in the leader's jersey. We do see him here with that Zwift yellow jersey on, if we can get a good shot here. So he has shown up for Team ODZ, and ODZ usually comes out with some support, but I haven't seen too many ODZ kits around him just yet. We'll see if they do come on out, but they are a West Coast team. They tend to show up in force on races that are a little bit more toward a West Coast time. So we'll see if he does get any support out there. Super important crit racing, though, to close those gaps down, I would think, Rasan, to make sure that you got enough teammates to really defend that jersey out there.
Yeah, this is a really big fill we have today. So I think for the guys who don't have teams, they could be pretty happy with the size fill. Give them a little place to hide. We talked a little bit about drafting and whatnot and how it works and how you can perfect drafting. So if you're perfecting drafting today in this massive fill at this moment, I think you're in a good spot. But, yeah, having teammates today will be very important. Also conserving as much as you can. And like you said earlier, if you can get out and maybe get away from the masses and not carry that extra baggage, your chances of placing well are going to be a lot higher.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's what they're going to be looking to do in the women's race right now. What's interesting, I am seeing Kate Veronu out on course right now. She isn't next to you at Zwift HQ right now, right?
I was just sitting next to her before I came downstairs. She didn't even mention that she was going to get on the bike.
She was going to be jumping on the bike and be racing with the women out there.
That's cool.
Maybe looking to double up for Zwift HQ on the wins today, because Tom Hargreaves was able to take the W down in the European edition this morning. But it looks like Ellen Tarquino, who's currently sitting, I believe it was, in the top 5 in the East edition. Yes, Ellen, who's off the front for Vision, already making an attack, currently sitting in 4th place overall in this East series. So be watching out for her. I believe everybody's shown up for the day that is in that leaderboard. The leader, Laura Fideo, out there donning that new jersey that she just earned in the series. So be watching out for her to definitely be looking to defend this week, actually. She's actually riding unattached. Now, wait a second. Laura does not have the jersey on, though, I'm seeing in game. I'm wondering if there was a little bit of mix-up on the overalls there. I am looking through here, and I'm not seeing a leader's jersey amongst the pack here. We'll have to get some updates on maybe we did have a mix-up a little bit on the current situation for the leaders. Now, I'm looking through here, and do we see I am seeing some Team Fearless kits, but I'm not seeing an actual leader's jersey in game here. So we'll have to wait and see if we get an update on that. Maybe you can get some info for us there, Rasan, on the situation with the leader's jersey, perhaps, and whether or not we've got the correct results. I think we do, though. I'm looking at double checks with power.com.
It looks good. Yeah, I'm also on swiftpower.com. It seems like everything is all right on this end.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So we'll have to wait and see if we can get get something going on here with just some info maybe from somebody over at events there. Let us know. Maybe just a mix up there, but sorry about that. Apologies 100% then if it's supposed to be on the shoulders there. But look, maybe it wasn't selected. That might be what it is. You do have to select it in game, I believe. And maybe Laura decided to not grab the leader's jersey on the day, actually. That probably is, I would think that's probably what took place there, because I do believe you have to put it on. We did have Frank Garcia on to chat a little bit about CVR stuff, and he was, as the sponsor of Team Experimental, was like giving Kim a little bit of a ribbon here and there about wearing the leader's jersey and not the Team Experimental jersey, but it's just too cool not to. And so I do think you do have to put it on, actually, in order to...
Everyone wants to don the leader's jersey. I mean, that's what you're racing for, right? You're the leader.
Exactly.
I think it's kind of cool.
Well, some of these riders don't even have to keep have to keep showing up if they don't want to, and they'll have their top 10 locked in no matter what, but they would lose the jersey overall. And I know some are just there just to defend it. I know Kim Little earlier today was like, I'm just going to keep showing up. I'm not even letting my teammate take this off my shoulders, actually. So it'd be interesting to see how this does change shoulders from race to race here. Now, the racing is pretty close within this East Series for the women here. I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the points here as they have gone. We are at week 5 into, well, this is the start of week 6. This is week 6 now in a 10-week series, 10 races total, your best of 7 count. Laura Fideo has 6 races in with 99 points. She's only 2 points ahead of Katrina Weiss.
Wow.
Kim Beezer then, 81 points currently, just a little bit behind. Only 5 races for Kim, though. And then Tarquino there with 4 races in. Okay, Caitlin Patterson, 5 races in as well. So within that top 5 situation, there's going to be a lot of shuffling around because 4, 5, 7, and 6, there's going to be riders who are going to be gaining huge amounts of points with each and every race that they do, because it won't be a drop off of your worst and then just getting the difference between your worst race and your current race. It'll actually be the addition of a full race points, actually up to 20 points if somebody was going to take a win. And I mean, you'd probably be involved in a lot of different race series situations, Rasan, where you're starting to do a lot of calculating, a lot of math to figure out where you need to finish up toward the end to make sure you're holding on to that spot that you're looking for.
Yeah, one of the most interesting ones, and I would say one of the most memorable ones come from your state, Super
Really?
Week.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, Super Week was one of those races where you had to keep track of your points. It was on an Omnium system, so you didn't have to race every day. And it was not only are you keeping track of your points, but you're also looking at the competitors that's around you to see if they're going to start on a certain day. So, you know, there were days where I was extremely tired after racing maybe 8 days in a row and wanted to take one day off. But you show up to the race and you kind of look around and you're prepared to race. But if, like, you know, the guys in the top 5 that's a threat don't show up and race, and then you just pack up your bags and you go home and get your rest on. But if those guys are still racing and the race is tight, you got to go out there and you have to race. You can't just give up the jersey that way.
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of similar here with the best of. I mean, having the Omnium situation, like you were saying, you'd have a best of kind of situation, it sounds like there, with Super Week. And so similar here now with your best 7 out of the 10 here, counting toward your series overall. Definitely going to be situations where I think some riders might not want to show up on the day, but they go, oh, look who's on the start line. We've got Kim Beazer, we got Kelly, we got Tarquino out there, maybe Caitlin showing up this week, whoever it might be that might be able to take those spots. And you got to do everything you can to make sure that you're taking any points you need to away from those riders in those sprints and making sure you're following those wheels.
Yep, that's exactly how it goes down. So it's it could get tricky, especially when you're talking Super Week was 18 stages, you know. And I think out of the 18 stages, the most I ever took off was 2 days, and those were the 2 big road races. But yeah, you just have to continue to compete, and if you want to hold, you know, say you're in second or third, or you're in a contention for first, you got to go out there and you got to scrap every single day.
Yeah, and that's a little bit different. We're not obviously not racing day in and day out, but it's week in and week out right now. So the guys and gals racing here are definitely going to be getting a little bit more of rest in between the races here. Now, we do have social media integration going on here, and I do see all the comments actually coming in from Zwift's Facebook post here. So great to see all you guys coming to the broadcast and interacting with us. I also do have the Twitch feed open as well. Board Pilot is asking if Scotty Weiss is winning already. Scotty is actually racing in the West Series. He can't be I think he's actually trolling us actually with that comment. Scotty is already winning in the West race, even though it hasn't started yet, I think, Board Pilot. But yeah, Scotty, we'll see him later tonight, maybe in some of the community streams. I know Greg Leo, who is currently 2nd overall, I believe, in the leaderboards for the West. He will be streaming live, actually, on his Twitch channel later tonight. We'll go ahead and throw him a host up on Zwift Community Live's Twitch channel as well. And you guys will be able to see a racer point of view, actually, on the Twitch channel, actually. So we're going to try and get out of the pens here for the women's race. We've had a couple of issues with that here and there today. We'll see if we can get away from that. I was going to comment quickly. We did see that Carissa Min was out on course hammering away. Good to see her. One of the community members, actually, that manages and helps to manage and admin a ton of the Facebook groups out there. So good to see her out there racing. Was currently sitting in the lead pack, actually, and it seems fairly calm at this point amongst the women that are in that lead group. So I think they're waiting for the right moment to try and get away. But in the men's race, this is one of the moments that we do see those attacks. This is the only place out on course that you really get any kind of serious uphill gradient. And we already do have an attack off the front, 7 seconds before they even hit this uphill. It's about a 30-second effort or so. But sometimes you do see riders around the corner try and get a gap prior to that because they know that the effort isn't quite long enough to really get any kind of break established. So with already 7 seconds going, 8 watts per kilogram, this might be a threat to get away. Still a large group though, but it looks like they do have a gap and riders are going to be put on their back foot here trying to close this down. Series lead up here for Cotty, 5 watts per kilogram, 187 beats per minute. It has not been slow from the get-go here with 187 already, Rasan. First lap.
They've been going pretty fast. Yeah. They are. They're absolutely flying. I was watching the watts straight off the line, and most of the front group was doing upwards of 600 watts for the first 30 seconds, and then they settled in at about 400, and then now they're cruising around 300 plus watts. So yeah, they have been smashing the pedals for the first 12, 13 minutes of this race.
Looking through Paceline Designs in about 25th place, we do have Riddick here as well as Ricketts, and then it is Hawley just barely getting on back. It looks like Olsen from Team Draft, the next one to jump on here. Eugene Chen from HPP, Human Powered Performance, in there as well. F Bird's there now, and it looks like Olsen getting on terms there, and then it will be Corliss, and then Sorensen. Now we're jumping all over the place here. Hopefully we can stay with the race today, because that would be our second feed that might be lost at this point. So we're going to see if we can stick with the riders here and not go anywhere from them, but we are losing them here and there. We're going to go ahead and see if I can actually leave the event with the women's race and jump into the, we're going to go ahead and back out of one of our feeds 100%. And maybe if I log in and push ride with Carissa or some of the others that I do follow on our other feed, we'll be able to stay with the riders here. As we do that, so Rasan, as far as the leaderboards here, you know, Pierre Ficati, the Canadian here, been fairly unstoppable so far, it seems like, to try, you know, I mean, he's, well, not unstoppable, but very consistent. Anybody else in the leaderboards that you've been, you know, looking at and thinking within this East might be a threat, maybe coming up from the lower end of the leaderboards right now, sitting in that 15th to 10th place, that might be able to grab a couple of points and some spots as we get later on to the second half of the series right now?
Yeah, some of the names that pop out, that stand out from the last race that we worked on is Matt Johnson. I remember hearing that name. Also, Sega Brock. Is that pronounced that right?
Sega Brook. It's like Sega
Brook,
and then Brook. So Sega Brook, Genesis, and then Brook.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Sega Brook's been super consistent. Really consistent.
Yeah. So and he showed that he could race. He showed he's got some power. I just think he needs some of the cards to fall in his favor. So yeah, I see a few riders that I think could give the top three guys a good run for their money. And if you look at the top three, they're only separated by 3 points. So yeah, they could get in trouble by watching each other and have some of the other guys below them kind of slide into their spots.
So I did jump out onto course here. I'm in open world here with the riders right now. I'm hoping I don't get stuck within the men's race, but I'm going to see if I can find the women's race. Might have to do the same with the men's feed here. We'll have to see, but as soon as I'm able to figure out where the women are out on course here, I'll be able to find them. But I am in open world, and there are 3,360 riders out on course, and a lot of them are out on the classic course. So we're going to be jumping around a little bit here, looking for the front end of this group. As soon as we do, we'll no longer be in the event, and I have a feeling that might help us a little bit to not get the jumping around here. I think as soon as we do get back in with the women's, if anybody does have a feed that knows where the women are out on course at this moment, that would be helpful, actually. But I am looking through here and seeing that we do have Pierre Ficati up toward the front still. Not seeing any attacks just yet, but we are still jumping around quite a bit. So we're going to have to wait up a little bit for the jump around to just calm down a little bit before we can really get any shots here of the race here. It looks like Laufenberg, though, Olsen from Draft, we're jumping between 63rd and 8th over and over again, though. So we're going to see if we can wait up and get back in with the riders. Eugene Chan here, Human Powered Performance, looks to have a pretty consistent connection, but nope, gone again. So how far into the series are they so far? How many more races remain? Thanks a lot, Anthony, for the question there. Appreciate it very much. So let's go ahead and bring that in. So the if you do want to interact with the broadcast, you can do so like Anthony has. We are into week 6 right now for the overall. And for the overall series. So they have 5 races in, not including this week, halfway through. And the current series standings we looked at earlier at the start of the broadcast for the East. Now, a lot of these racers, though, do not have their 7 races in just yet. A few of them, Katrina does have 7 races in, but not all of them do. Now, the reason why some of them do have 7 races still, because there was a few races that counted at the from the first go at the Ecrit series. So she was able to take her best 2 races and bring them in. So that's why she does have 7. So that's why Caitlin, Ellen, Laura, and Kim are chasing down Katrina then for the best of 7. But 5 more races to go in the series so far, and as we do get a little further in, we'll see a lot more change-ups, I think, with the riders. So looking through here, we're going to see if we can find the front end of the race again. We're sitting around, it looks like 53rd place, and with the men's race here, we're going to stick with these riders for now. We do see Mark Min here, actually, from Human Powered Performance. Good to see him out there in that Bikes and Beers kit, actually, and I have a feeling they might be riding next to each other, actually. Mark Min, Carissa Min. Carissa Min is somewhere out on course with the lead group, I believe, still, for the women's race. I'm going to see if I can get Twitch chat to help me out over here. I have a feeling they might be screaming at me right now. Let me know where they're at. And 1K, Carissa said a little while ago, I believe. So I believe we will be able to grab their avatars here in just a minute, if they were just at the 1K banner just a few minutes ago. So gonna look through here and see if we can find the front end of that women's race. Let's move forward in the men's race, though. I think it's calmed down a little bit, and they are taking these attacks into the 1K to go banner now, and they have 15K to go, about halfway through the race. They've whittled it down to about 40 riders still. And all the top riders within the top 5 in the East are still here, it looks like. Pierre Ficati there with the leader's jersey. I'm also seeing Losel in there as well. We are seeing a Dion from Cannondale 4i, actually, a professional team out of Canada there. Lemire is there as well. Super fast rider out of Canada for Team QC. And I'd be watching out for him maybe for a W out there, as he has been battling, I think, to try and grab a win in the past couple of weeks here.
Yep, I saw Sega Brook. I also saw Zimmerman. They're all in the front group, so it'll be a nice showdown today for sure.
Yeah, Segerbrook, Zimmerman, I think he had a solid result last week, if I'm not incorrect. If we look through the results here, let me just double check and see and make sure I got this right. But I'd be watching out for Zimmerman, currently sitting in 2nd place overall in the series. He's got 3 wins, 2 second places, actually, and a 3rd. Very consistent rider, actually, for Team Draft. I believe he took down a solid W. It was last week, took the win, actually, out on course with a very late attack, I think, in the volcano. It was very impressive, actually, from Zimmerman last week. And I'd be watching out for him, because the difference in points right now between Zimmerman, Shum, and Pierre Ficati is 3 points. 120 for Pierre Ficati, 118 for Zimmerman, 117 for Casey Shum. Now, Casey Shum, though, that's a name I haven't said yet tonight. Do we see him out on course?
I have not seen Shum yet. I've been kind of floating around the whole peloton. Haven't seen him yet, but it's possible that he is there and I'm just overlooking him. But I don't know if you've noticed, Nathan, there's 2 guys off the front at 15 seconds.
No, I completely missed it, actually. So we're looking around looking for the women's race.
Ah, okay.
Above and Beyond Cancer here, coming out of the US of A, actually, 17.4K in. And Gardner, here's the thing. These are racers we are not familiar with at all.
Yeah.
And they snuck off the front. I think this was a, oh yeah, no big deal, don't worry about it. Who are those guys? And next thing you know, off the front, Nobody knows who they are, and they gave them too much room. 16 seconds, and they've got about 3 laps to go. This is a threat, I think. I mean, that is a pretty big gap now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they still have a long way to go, and it's a lot of horsepower behind them, but within Zwift, 16 seconds is substantial.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. There is a lot of horsepower. They are throwing down lots of power-ups left and right, actually, here. So they're definitely trying to increase their gap as much as they can to get the group behind, to calm down, say they're out of sight, they're out of mind at this point. But you do see a couple of the riders now making their way to the front. Pierre Fricati, 4.3 watts per kilogram, as you can see. ODZ. I think maybe some of these riders are thinking about the climb through Whitehall, everything they got to bridge the gap, grab onto a wheel, and form a lead group that drops anybody off who cannot go along with them. That would be the tactic I'd be thinking about. Give them that gap, let them have that 20 seconds, and then bridge with a few riders without taking everybody with you. But it's going to be everything on the table when they go for that. When they actually go to make that gap, to make that chase, it's going to have to be very quick, very concise, like a snipe, just right to the wheels as fast as they can, because if they don't, they're going to end up dragging the whole group with them.
Yeah. I mean, we see this scenario all the time. You know, it's like when you go, you got to go and get rid of the baggage, like we talked about earlier. But with this gap, I think, you know, the leaders are just kind of looking at each other to see who's going to take up the chase. So someone's going to have to take the initiative and say, okay, this race is mine. I want it. I'm going to go for it. And hopefully weed out the weak links and bring out the best of the other riders so they can chase these two guys down. But I would be pretty cool to see these guys actually make it to the end.
We have not seen a breakaway from this early, I don't think, succeed once, besides Weiss and Elliott walking away from the whole field. It's the only times I think we've really seen that in the entire series. I think in the West, Scotty Weiss's presence, as well as in the European edition with the women's race, having Rachel Elliott in there, I think they have caused some breaks to go away here and there that have gotten away with a couple of riders around them, and eventually they drop them off. But we haven't seen anybody get away like this, forming a group of two and really cause any kind of chase in earnest that thought it could bring it back and still win. I think a lot of times against Scotty and Rachel, you get these situations where they just go, you know, those riders are in another class, and they start racing for second. That's not this situation. They think they can bring these guys back, and now the race is on.
This is why I love bike racing. It sometimes just never goes to plan. You know, you go out there, you race your bike, and just let the race come to you. And look what happens. We have two people off the front, still holding 5.0 watts per kilo. You know, moving pretty good, 28 miles an hour, 357 watts. I mean, they're going for it. But, let's see. 173 beats a minute from above and beyond cancer. So, yeah, they're not taking it lightly right now. I think the group is going to have a hard time bringing these guys back if they don't get motivated very quickly.
189 beats per minute. These boys, they're not messing around. You're right. They are all in at this point. We do see Christensen here from Innovation, actually. One of the junior riders here coming out of New Zealand. He can't take points for the series, but he's out there for the kudos at this point. So we'll give him a ride on. Super strong young rider out of New Zealand going for it with that Aero power up. We do see Dion here now as well going to try and chase down the rider out of New Zealand there, but not going to be happening. It looks like as Christensen going for that snipe we were talking about here. He's definitely going to, well, we'll see. It looks like within 10 seconds, 56 kilometers per hour. We're seeing 45 here. That's going to come down very quickly. That's the kind of move you got to make if you want to get back with the breakaway and not bring the whole group with you. And it looks like he's done what needed to be done here. 7 watts per kilogram still. And the group is very complacent at this point. This is surprising. We're not seeing 5-6 watts per kilogram on a chase right now.
Yeah, it never fails. You get the 3 best guys left behind, and then they all start looking at each other. I think it's natural reaction. It's like, well, you know, these guys are off the front. They are no threat to my first place. They're no threat to my second place. They're no threat to my third place. So they all look at each other, and this gap just grows and grows and grows.
That's a great point, actually. Pierre Fakai's like, I don't care. Who's that guy?
Yeah, he doesn't care. Yep,
I got
exactly.
the points. Yeah, everybody, they're all like, well, if they take the points, they take the points. We'll see what happens later on. They're not in the top five.
It's best for Pierre Fakati. Yeah, if Pierre Fakati, those two guys stay off the front, and Pierre Fakati wins the field sprint for third, he's in the best scenario than the other guys right behind him because he's going to take maximum points away from those two guys. So that will come in behind him for fourth and fifth. So honestly, he's in the driver's seat at this moment, and it's really not his responsibility to bring these two riders back.
Good point. Very good point. Now, if there was a threat off the front, that'd be a different story. If there was a threat that was going to be trying to take the leaders' jerseys from him, next thing you know, ODZ on the front, pulling that back in, securing that overall spot in the leader's jersey. So we do have some questions coming through here over at Zwift's Facebook live feed here, and we are seeing Simon Shuri saying, why is it bouncing around so much? So that's a great question, actually. We do have a little bit of a bug with FanView right now, and we're trying to get through that, and it's calmed down a little bit. So we apologize for the bouncing around, and if we do lose the feed here and there, it is being worked on. So just to answer your question there, and for those of you who might have been wondering, we did lose the feed for the women's momentarily. I am out on course looking for currently. I'm not exactly sure where they are out there, and as soon as I do find their race, we will get right back in with them as well. We do see Charles Adams actually letting us know that go Iowa boys. Sakari and ABC are actually Iowa boys, actually, from what I'm being told. So that's cool to hear. Charles Adams is letting us know that Above and Beyond Cancer, as well as Sakari, are coming out of Iowa off the front right now. How long is this race? How many more laps? 2 to go. 2 to go out there, Aaron Small. It is a total of...
It's kind of cool. We have some riders from Iowa here. That's pretty cool. Maybe we need to do an event down in Iowa, engage our customers down there.
Well, have you raced in Iowa, Rasan?
I have not. I have never raced in Iowa.
Never. Isn't there like a great Snake Alley? Isn't Snake Alley?
Yeah, Snake Alley always fell on a weekend where there's something else out this way. So, yeah.
It's kind of early
never
season.
Been to Iowa.
It's kind of a warm-up for us, actually, right here. Snake Alley's always kind of like get the road season going, head a little bit south out of Wisconsin, and get the legs going. It's sometimes a warm-up race for some of the mountain bikers, too. We would go because there's so much climbing and punchiness early on. I know Tristan Schouten a lot of times will head down Mater, Isaac Neff, a few others that I race on the mountain bike, actually. So I wonder if Gardner and Above and Beyond race Snake Alley. I'd love to know if they actually are involved in the racing scene down there and know the specialized, I believe it is Mercy team that Brian Eppen and Kim Eppen were riding for as well.
Yep. I remember Mercy. Is it Mercy a hospital?
Yep, it's a hospital. Mercy Specialized was a team. I think it still is a team coming out of Iowa. Super strong team, actually. Nice. Yep. So Above and Beyond Canton here. It looks like Christensen was able to get back on terms with them. Shut down, though, by the chase now. You know, they put all their chips on the table. It looks like they really faded, though, coming into this 2 to go. With only a lap and a half to go, at a certain point, you start looking at your watts. You can't hold over 4.5 without being comfortable any longer. GG. And you got to throw the towel in and wait for that sprint. Because if you stay off the front for too long and dangle out there for too long, when it comes time to sprint, you got no matches left.
Yeah, it's over. That's we talk about what we call it, no man's land. Definitely don't want to be there. That's why you're always thinking when you're on the bike. You got to figure out, what's best for you and your personal results and your team results. So being in no man's land, I know sometimes it hurts the ego to be there and have to come back, but it's better to just come back and save those matches for later instead of just being in the middle of nowhere and burning them all,
And Charles Adams is saying, yes, Snake Alley will crush your soul. Yeah, and that seems to be one that it's all about being at the front at the right time, because if you are not, it is game over. Some kind of similar to this as well. I mean, any crit racing, it's kind of like that. But going into the climbs, though, if you are not positioned correctly and you're back in 50th, 60th place, you are probably not seeing the front for 2 to 3 laps or so. Little less exaggerated on Zwift. You can make up time, but a little similar in the fact that you still need to be up toward the front, like these riders trying to position themselves right now. Because if you do not make that break up front, and it is that 10 meters can make a difference if somebody lets that gap go away.
Yeah, there are certain races out there where you just absolutely have to get a great starting spot. And what I've learned in Zwift, you have to get a good starting spot in these races. When they take off from the gun, they're just going so bloody fast that you can get dropped. I never forget my very first Zwift race. I got dropped within 500 meters because I had no idea they went off like rockets at the start. So there's races out there like Athens Twilight where if you don't get a good start, in the first 20, 30 guys, your day is over. It's absolutely over. So there was always a fight to be in the position in the front to where the race organization actually had like qualifiers for starting grid if you weren't like in the top 10 of these USA Cycling race series or something like that. So starting positions, everything in certain races.
Yeah, for sure. And we are getting a lot of comments coming through just about that. Looks like we've got a lot of fans coming out of Iowa, actually. And Carl Notsker coming through here saying, it's in Iowa. It is. Casey Shum saying, lots of races left. The bottom of the top 5 is reachable for Gardner. So watch out for him as we do see him from Sakari here at the back of the group right now, but was off the front for quite a while. We are seeing Jean-Philippe Venn saying that Lemire is never dead. Watch out for him. Fun to watch. Enjoying a few beers. Sounds good. Randall Rice and Snake Alley will crush your soul. Charles is saying, nice big group. Simon Shuri is saying, and Anthony Vegan Porsche, very experienced Zwift racer, actually, as well as in real life racer in crits, says no further back than 15th wheel is really the optimal amount in a big field on the e-crit, especially in this race here. And this is an experienced racer who went to the Aussie e-crit final, actually. So he knows how to race the crit racing out on Zwift, as he punched a ticket to a top 10 race already out on Zwift in the past here. Now, we do have the women's race. I was able to find them. Again, apologies that we were stuck back in the pens for a little while. I relogged in, was able to find the one who always needs to calm down, except for when she's racing, Carissa Min. Thank you very much, Carissa. And actually, Carissa, you are in the lead group right now. So actually, you need to pedal just a little bit harder and get some results on the board today. A little bit of inside joke there between us there. So actually, Carissa, keep on pedaling and see what you can pull off here, as you are with the lead group. First place is actually right there here. Webster now from ODZ now, 3.9 watts per kilogram. I have a feeling Carissa's smiling ear to ear right now through the pain and the suffering. Hopefully helps her out with the beats per minute we are seeing from her, because it was up almost to 200. She beats like a butterfly, man, and can really impressive story there with Carissa. Has never raced in her life until she started riding out on Zwift. She jumped into some crits in real life, actually, or time trial. They're like time trials on a crit course, though, that she was doing. And then after that, started jumping into Zwift racing. And now this was a rider who was like doing TFC races, Friday Criterium races, because she couldn't do more than 2.5, 3.0 watts per kilogram or less than that even. And now we see her at the front of the women's race in the NA East. Amazing story here.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Of the leaps and bounds you can make here after 2 years, 3 years of Zwifting.
Oh, that's awesome. And that just brings a kind of full circle of why this platform is so exciting for a lot of people. You know, I hear stories of I was injured and this is what got me back motivated for rehab, and I was overweight and this encouraged me to get healthy and start exercising. Or personally for me, it was just motivation to get back on the bike. I started doing Zwift for about 45 minutes a day. That 45 minutes turned to an hour. hour and a half, and now I actually enjoy going back outside, and I enjoy hopping on Zwift at night and in the morning. So yeah, it's a great platform. I'm so happy that we have this at our disposal.
Now, for the favorites in the women's race here, now we are heading into the last half a lap for the men's. We'll get back to them in a minute. We got this quick startup that's got a pretty good following amongst the viewership, actually. Britt Mason has been able to take down almost every race she's jumped into so far. I'm just going to double check the results here, actually, real quick, just to make sure I don't misquote. But according to the current results, she's in 10th place overall, but only 3 races. Everybody above her right now, 4, 5, 6, 7 races, and it's a best of 7.
Oh, yeah.
She's only got 3. She's in 10th place right now, a first, and a third. She has not been off the podium once. I'd be watching out for her. She seems like a little firecracker in the sprint, and I have a feeling she might be one to watch out for the W at the end of this series. And she is out in the race right now and seems to be pretty calm, playing things cool. Now, Kate Verona is out here as well, ex-pro racer. I'd be watching out for her.
How's Kate doing?
She looks like she's fairly comfortable, but you got to tell Kate to put a heart rate monitor on. They're compulsory. She can't take anything.
Yeah.
She can't win. She's going to get DQ'd. What's going on?
Yeah. It must be an employee thing, because I'd never have raced with a heart rate monitor on. I actually don't even want to see my heart rate when I'm going that hard. So, yeah, I'm sure she's just out there having some fun. And this course is not hilly enough for Kate. So I could almost bet you she will not win today, because she's more of a billy goat than a young cheetah.
Gotcha. Well, we do see Katrina Weiss out toward the front right now, probably being cheered on by Scotty, along with the gigantic industrial fan that we saw him posting pictures of to keep her cool. And now Ellen making her way to the front. Now Carissa Min not calming down, making her way to the front as well. Series leader, though, Laura Fideo, there now at the front. Britt now 7.3 watts per kilogram. 5 watts per kilogram. Britt giving us a little bit of a dig at the front of the race right now. Watch out for this. If she gets away, I'm not sure she'll be caught again, but usually I've been seeing her in sprints, but I have a feeling she's trying to whittle things down rather than come to the line with a group of 20. I mean, you always want the better chances.
Yeah. And I was the total opposite. I wanted a massive fill so I can navigate my way through it and be able to sprint. If I was isolated, it always made me more nervous than if I had a massive group.
Now, looking through at the men's race, though, as they are coming into the final K here in just a moment, the watts are being thrown down. Nobody is off the front just yet, but Gardner, Casey Shum was calling out that he's one to watch out for. Above and Beyond Cancer's there as well. The 2 Iowa boys going left and right. They're going, one after another. The attacks are coming from them, and they seem super motivated tonight to take down some points. And Gardner, we're being told, within the top 10, maybe be able to grab, is actually biting at the heels of the top 10 right now, and maybe be able to grab some points here, make his way into the final, actually. Now, if you're just tuning in, this is for an invite to a live final, all expenses paid for that. So that's a pretty big ticket to punch to the live final. So the top 10 in North America, so the top 5 in the East and the top 5 in the West will get qualified. It's your best 7 of 10 races. We're on race number 6 right now, and this is the final K in race number 6, and we've got about 25 to 30 men about to be going all out to the finish line to try and grab whatever points that they can to punch that ticket to the final here. Pierre Ficati, series leader, still there with it. Here comes an arrow power up from somebody. Odd time to be throwing it down. Must be hurting, or maybe trying to get away from this far out, perhaps? I'm not sure.
Probably hurting more than trying to get away.
Most likely, we are seeing it is Velo Select here. Goodfellow here. Very early power up here from him. Not sure that's going to be helping out now. And now as they do start to ramp things up, we can see the riders all starting to make their way to the front of the pack now. And we do see it was Lemire now going there, but back in 30th place is then where we want to be looking at. Segerbrook, Pierre Ficati now, 7 watts per kilogram. Lascella's there as well. Pawlowski's now. Look at all the arrow powers. Oh my goodness, but it's Lemire.
1,200 watts
per kilogram. 1,200 watts. 177 beats per minute now. But here comes Pawlowski now, but he is not out of USA, so he can't take it. He cannot take the win.
Ficati's coming around.
Segerbrook, though, is there. The consistent one. Will it be Segerbrook? Segerbrook maybe to the line, and Zimmerman, though. I think it was Zimmerman. Zimmerman right at the line there. I'm not sure. Let's take a quick look. I can grab it real quick. We had a little bit of a camera issue there, but we're going to see if we can grab it real quickly for you here in that replay. And we'll speed it up here. And it looks like coming to the line. We saw Pawlowski go. Then it was Lemire. 12 watts per kilogram. Pierre Ficati was coming on. Segerbrook and him trading spots over and over again. And here's where the camera swaps. And then right here, we can see it. Segerbrook, Zimmerman. I think it was Zimmerman. I think Zimmerman by a tire length, maybe.
So, if you look at the results, if it's Zimmerman could actually take over the overall lead, been out of the lead by 2 points. And if Pierre Ficati was he
third
fifth?
place? It looked like it was third. I might be wrong though.
So if he was third, wow. Okay. Wow, it's going to be really close.
Super close because Zimmerman second, Pierre Ficati sitting currently in first, obviously.
First by 2 points. It could be a tie if I'm doing the math right.
Oh my goodness.
We will see.
It's right there. It's right there. We'll see as the results update. They do update pretty quickly for us. We'll get the preliminary results coming at us. But that was the overall series currently after week 5 that we were just looking at. We just saw the finish in week 6. We can look at the replay in just a moment here. Let's see what's happening, though, with the women's race, actually. This is the final lap for the women now. Britt Mason here leading things out now. She is taking a podium for every single race she's jumped into, actually. Third, first, and first. Series leader Laura Fideo is out there as well. Katrina Weiss, who lost the series lead in the last couple of races here. Ellen Tarquino, though, out there as well. Watch out for Ellen. She's taking a W out here, and she's currently sitting in 4th place, going to be super motivated. Kim Beezer's in there still. A name I haven't seen yet, though, Caitlin Patterson. Is Zwift Academy semifinalist, actually. I'm not seeing her in the race right now. Have we lost? Have we not, have we just missed the name maybe while clicking through? But I think Caitlin might have taken the week off this week.
Yeah, I haven't seen her name. It's possible. Sometimes taking a week off is good because you come back so much stronger the following week when everyone else has been a little fatigued. So who knows? Like I said earlier, you got to play it by ear, and possibly she just said, you know what, this is going to be my best chance to have a break, and I'll come back and finish off the series.
Yeah, she's got 4 races in. She can still get plenty of she still has plenty of time with, after this week with 4 more races to go after that. So plenty of time here still. We're getting a little bit jumping around again. We did leave the event, really hoping that we can hold on to the racers here, as we did lose the women's sprint in the European edition. They are coming around, it looks like, here for the climb in just a moment. We are with Ellen Tarquino here. Then it will be, it looks like, a few others. Now, these are a little ways back, starting their final lap here in just a moment. We are jumping around a lot right now. We'll see if we can get the feed from the men's race perhaps to help us out here in just a moment, and I'll swap the feeds out, and then we'll be able to bring this in, as this may be a little bit more consistent to the line. We'll stay on Lindsay's avatar for just a moment, as sometimes that does help to get us out of the event and then go back into it and not get jumped around quite as much. And so let's see if this does help out. and get us back in with the front end of the race here. We do see K. Russell here right along with Burke. I'm going to jump out of the men's race, hopefully, as maybe one or two does finish up their race for us and gets us across the line and out of the race here in just a second. And we still have plenty of racers up ahead here. Palacio, who's finishing up. Everybody, give Palacio in the men's race a ride on right now to encourage him to ride faster and get across that finish line right now, please, because we need to get out of the men's race and get into the, hopefully into the women's race. We're starting to jump around.
The Colombian. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the Colombian here trying to make his way to the line. We're starting to jump around in both of the feeds now, though. So we'll see what we can get done here for all of you. I'm really hoping that we can get the finish with you guys. Again, apologies to everybody. We've had this fan view bug we're really trying to get past, and there's just nothing we can really do about it at this point besides hope that it stops and that we can get the finish for you. Now, this does not affect the race results. The racers, they have usually a normal view for them, and they will be able to finish out their race just fine. It's just a fan view thing from what we know, and we are working with Zwift closely to try and get through, get it fixed, just so you guys know here. So El Tarquino here up toward the front. Beth York is in there as well. They're into the final K. Hoping that these men's in the men's feed can finish out their race as well and get across the line quickly. So I have two feeds to work with here as they do make their way to the line. I am seeing Kate now starting to wrap things up a little bit. Beth York now up toward the front. It is bouncing around though, so we're going to see, hopefully we have a solid connection. Brett Mason now making her way to the front. Looks like Piabet is off the back here. Here comes Webster now. Kate now with the sprint is opening up, as you can see. Please stay with us here as Newsom is now making her way to the line. It looks like Vixen though. Oh, Newsom, though, might be the one to the line. Tarquino is there, though. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to hold on. I'm believing, though, not going to be able to see who's going to take the W there. They are across the line there already, and we'll have to wait for the results. We were able to see at least a little bit of the sprint, but not able to hold on to them with the fan view there. So apologies, everybody. Not much that we can do about the jumping around there at this point. We're hoping by next week to have it figured out as to what's going on with the fan view there. And as we do, we'll have better coverage for you. But as you can see, we're still jumping around out there. But in the men, let's go ahead and check out the men's race results, and then we will get right on into the women's race results as well in just a moment here. So, and a couple of comments coming through here as we take a look at the results here. And Houston, we are in space. Board Pilot is saying, anyone get the official results? Go draft. Hat trick, Adam Zim saying, Zimmerman is calling that he took the W. So
nice.
Maybe Zimmerman, now we'll have to wait and see what the officials say here, but Adam's calling that he took the W. And if he did, that would be, I think, a change-up or a tie even.
It would.
For the overall.
It would be a change-up if if Pierre Ficati was third. So if Pierre Ficati was third, maybe I think you're right. It would be a tie.
Yeah, so we're looking Zimmerman.
It would be a tie.
First place. Sagerbrook takes second. Yep. Man, super consistent. Sagerbrook is so consistent, actually.
Sagerbrook is going to win the overall on the very last day.
I'm right.
The very last race series, Sagerbrook is going to win the overall.
You know, I'm not
calling
even sure
it right
won
now.
A race. Let me look at this real quick here.
Sagerbrook has not 3 silvers and a bronze.
But consistency is key. He's in 6th place overall. And I think he's going to move up pretty quickly here, actually, with these results so far, because a lot of the racers ahead of him have 7 races in, and he's moving up quickly now. And I think with this result, he might actually take over 4th place from Eric Lassell actually out there. So let's go and look through here though for the results official. Well, not official. These are preliminary. We'll come out with a video tomorrow or a video over the weekend, Monday, somewhere around there, but we'll record for it tomorrow for all the official results. Adam Zimmerman though, 1st place. Sagerbrook there 2nd. Pierre Ficati series leader takes 3rd. Luke Pawlowski though, coming out of nowhere there. Can't take points for the series, but grab some points from some of the other riders out there for 4th place. Eric Lassell out there for Canada 4i for 5th. Then it will be Big E for 6th. Warren Muir coming in for 7th. Then it's going to be Andy Webb coming in for 8th. Mike Cabagon and then Yannick Lemire for 10th place overall. That's your top 10 for the men today. In the women's race, though, take a look at these results. You know, we're going to have a little chat here, Rasan, because I have a feeling you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to the mountain goat.
Where is she?
It looks like.
How did she do?
So I don't know if she gets a buy on the heart rate monitor for riding out of Zwift HQ. I don't think she does. They're compulsory, but great. It looks like from the preliminary results, takes the W by
what?
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, but it was close. It was really close. Now, I'm not positive, though. I'm waiting to see, make sure that this is right. But because we don't have the actual preliminary results up yet. But according to the live results, we've got Kate Verneau, then we got Dame D, and then Britt Mason, 3rd place, always on that podium. Not a win, but definitely showing that she's got the kick. Ellen Tarquino there as well. Vicky Whitelaw coming in for 5th. Laura Fidel, series leader, still consistent. 6th place, grabs herself 14 points. Katrina Weiss, though, that's a solid result for Katrina because she'll drop off a couple that, I mean, she's been outside the top 10 a few times, actually, and that'll better her best of 7. I think it'll keep her in the top 5 with that 7th place there and 13 points. Beth York there out there as well for Vixen, 8th place. Kim Beezer, 9th, and Angela Webster for 10th. Now, those are live results. They're not even preliminary. I'm waiting for some preliminary here. And I've got nothing just yet, but I believe those live results are good enough for us from what we are seeing right now. Mary Stale, Christina Pearson, Christy McCracken, Rachel Blair, and then Angie Coleman rounding out the top 15 there. What a race there for the women. I think Kate took it down. I
owe Kate a beer for not having faith in her sprinting abilities.
Could probably go grab her.
I know she's got.
We could do a live. Yeah. We could actually do a live interview with Kate right now. Tell her to get over here. Yeah. What's happening, Kate? What are you doing out there? And where's the heart rate monitor? If you guys keep racing from Zwift HQ, we're gonna have to come on in and go into the broadcast studio and have some live chats about what's going on here.
Yeah. So I was actually talking to Mike Davis last night, and he wants to come here and do one of the races from HQ, so we're going to plan on having him at one of the races on Wednesdays in headquarters while I'm announcing, so that should be pretty fun.
Heck yeah, that sounds like a great idea, and we'll bring in that live view, Zwift on board type view to see what the effort looks like. Get it set up hopefully in that, in the testing room maybe with you right there with the mic. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yep. I mean, it's the way we have it set up now. I could be here and he could be up there, and
that's true.
I think it would be cool. Yep.
That would be great.
Maybe we could start something. Get a guest every Wednesday to come in and do that. I think that would be pretty fun.
Not a bad idea at all. Let's get it going. Now everybody out of Long Beach is going to be showing up at Zwift HQ.
yeah, exactly. Invite only.
Oh, man. GP Llama, we'll get into the lab at HQ. We're watching from a block away. Llama's in the house. I think he just landed.
All right.
Great to hear, Llama. You know, Wes is keen to get in on the stream while in town. Heck yeah, this sounds awesome. This is all some great stuff. Let's have some chats, between now and next week. We do have Zwift Community Live chat tomorrow. Johnny's coming in. Kim Little's coming in for some chat, I think. So maybe tomorrow, Llama, we can get something going on as well. Good to see you guys chatting over at twitch.tv/Zwift Community. For those of you watching on Facebook, on Zwift's Facebook page, if you're wondering where I'm chatting to, over on our Twitch channel, make sure to head on over there, hit that follow button. You'll get live push notifications anytime that we do go live with anything from Zwift Community Live. That's where all the chat is going on. Great place to actually consume streaming media rather than just hoping you get the notification in the algorithm at Facebook. So head on over to Twitch, hit that follow button over there, and we will see you in all of the live streams from Zwift Community Live. So, all right, that's it, I think, from us. Amazing job to all the racers out there. We will get the live, we'll get not the live results, but we'll get the official results out over the weekend. We'll get them in from KISS officials tomorrow, and then we'll go over them and get some official stuff heading out from us here at Zwift Community Live. Crazy racing, Rasan, as always.
Yeah, as always.
Been a little bit,
yeah.
You know, it's been a little bit more dynamic, though. It hasn't been, I think as we're getting closer to the end of the series, riders are getting a little more antsy to make those attacks happen and not looking for that final sprint so much.
I think we could blame ourselves for that. Our commentary is making them so excited. They want to show off for us as if we have a contract waiting at the end of the race. We do have something to give them, but not really a contract. But yeah, it is exciting to watch. It's always fun. The more I've been doing these with you, the more I think about ideas of how to even make it better. And these guys are just absolutely amazing. I love that people are just totally into racing virtually. Even though it's an avatar, it's a real avatar. It's actually you putting out the power. So yeah, good times here, and I think this is definitely something you will see more of in the future by Zwift and other people who come on board.
For sure, definitely. Dixie Newson, last comment. This is a great comment on the women's side of the sprinting here for you, Rasan. I even used an Arrow helmet. She has the sprinting legs, so it sounds like Kate definitely can throw down. I did see Lindsay Rupert out on course during the race as well. I think, like, everybody at ZHQ jumped on the bikes and like rode around with Kate during the race. Yeah. Actually, it looks like, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of big Z's out on course tonight. So that's really cool to see. Always fun to see all the ZHQs showing up. So Rasan, we'll let you sign off. Appreciate you being in with us for the race as always. And we'll
hey man, I'm gonna try to rush home and get a warm up and hop on the other race that's coming up in about an hour.
Heck yeah,
right?
You're gonna do the West?
I tried it last week and I got beat up pretty bad because I didn't have a warm up. But I'm gonna run out of here. Hopefully, don't get a speeding ticket. Hop on my bike and see if I can hold on to Scotty for about 30 minutes.
There you go. Well, Greg Leah's gonna be live. Head on over to the Twitch TV/Zwift Community Live or his channel. I'll give him a host, and you guys will be able to see the live point of view from Greg over on Twitch. So thanks a lot, Rasan. Appreciate you tuning in.
All right.
With us.
Thank you, Nathan. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Ciao.
So that's it from us here at Zwift Community Live for the Crit Series. The standings will be released tomorrow. And from the KISS organization, this is the North American East edition of the KISS Crit Series that we just got done doing. The West is coming up in 1 hour from now. Rasan's going to jump on the bike. You can still jump on the bike and do the race yourself as well. And we are halfway through the series. The West races, we are encouraging the community to stream the West races. If you are on Twitch, we'll be watching out for you. Just like Greg's channel, we took notice of that, and we've been hosting it as it's a high-quality stream. And head on over there, check out the streams over on Twitch. You just click on or search Zwift or click on the Zwift game on the Zwift Community Live feed, and you can actually find all the streams that are live right now with Zwift if there are any out there. And jump on out there, check out the streams from the live racers' point of views, or if anybody else is out there casting it like we do. And we'll see you guys over on Twitch. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Great job to all the racers, as always. And as always, ride on.